About a breaker block, I actually wanted to use a picture to explain this, but I think for the benefits of this knowledge and simplicity's sake, it's wise I use video to explain this. A broker block. Now, a broker block is actually a former order block. So, what is an order block? Another block is a place that an impulsive move took place. So, like now, this is currently on go. This is an order block. This red candle that is here is an order block. So price, this is what was holding this price during this time as at this evening. So let me move this, let me take this particular pink box today. So this box is the demand zone, and this particular red candle that is inside here happens to become the order block, which was actually holding that market as at that time. That was what was holding the market as at that time. So now look at something. The market has been at this point like this, like this. So anytime it get to this particular order block, it will go back. Anytime it get there, it will go back. But eventually, when the price move like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, when it get to this point, it fails. It could not hold again. This particular order block could not hold the price again. It breaks and come down to another order block. So this no longer be an order block, it is now known as a breaker block. That is simple. It is now known as a breaker block. Now the reason this is a breaker block is because it has been broken at this point. At this point, the price has broken this particular level. So this particular order block is no longer an order block, is now a breaker block. Now the recent order block happens to be this particular one. This particular one was what was holding the price. So you see now, when the price came to this particular place, it breaks and move back to this point. When it gets to this breaker block, now is no longer order block, it's now a breaker block. Why you really need to understand this is because it's actually going to help you a whole lot when it comes to trading, for you to have a better understanding. Now price was bouncing on this particular order block, but eventually here it breaks the order block and comes to the next order block, which is this level, this particular line here. And once it breaks and gets to that particular place, the market impulse, the market correction, this was an impulse move. The market corrections now return to this same particular a breaker block, which it was an order block, but is now an old order block, is now known as a breaker block. Now once it gets to that place, it sells again. It created an impulse. Now the impulse get to this place and return to this particular place. So the impulse is still there. So what are we saying here? And a breaker block is an old order block. A breaker block is an old order block. The moment it fails to hold the price, it can no longer hold the price again. At this point, just like you can see at this particular point, the price have broken this level. It is now a breaker block. It is no longer an order block. So the recent order block that we have is between here. That is it. What happened here is just a liquidity sweep. We're not talking about that. But this is the present order block on this particular chart, which previously it was this one, but now it has failed to remain an order block. It is now a breaker block. I hope you learned something from this particular video. I hope you understand. So the goal is just to explain what is a breaker block for us to understand. A breaker block is an old order block that has failed to hold the market.